Hey yo, what's good? Today I'm gonna talk about Ray Mercer, and I got a very special guest today, Mr. Boxing Today. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Good to be on your channel, and I'm ready to get into this evangelism about Ray Mercer and the 90's heavyweights and what was going on in the scene back then.
All right. I was telling you earlier, and I'll tell them right now. I chose you because you're always talking about the '90s heavyweights and how the heavyweights is your favorite division, and I know that you have a historical channel, and that's why I chose you to talk about Ray Mercer today. So
Oh man, I appreciate that. I really do. There's some other channels out there that really do a good job presenting the history, but thanks for that compliment. I really appreciate it.
yeah. So what stands out about Ray Mercer's career when you were watching him in the '90s?
Oh man, I mean, where do we start, man? I mean, what stands out? The number one thing that stands out is the toughness of Ray Mercer. Coming from behind, I mean, most of his best wins were all wins where he was coming from behind. He was down on scorecards. He would get outboxed. One thing about Ray Mercer's fighting style, man, is he would fight straight up. Like he never was a bend at the waist, bend at the knees type of fighter. He was
Yeah.
a straight up guy. He just had a tough chin. If it wasn't for his chin, his career would have been over early. But
No, no
that's what
doubt.
really stands out to me is how tough he was. I mean, there's other attributes, but the one thing that sticks out was just his toughness, man. Especially in that era, when you had Holyfield and Witherspoon and Moore and Foreman and McCall. You had Galata roaming around, Ika Buche, David Tua, Michael Grant. It was stacked, Riddick Bowe. It was stacked. So his toughness really carried him a long way, man. His resilience, because if he wasn't tough and had a chin like he did, like I said, his career would have been over early.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Um, what are a few fights that you remember from him?
Well, I mean, the first fight that comes to mind uh, that's posterizing to me was the Tommy Morrison fight, man.
Ooh.
That fight happened in 1991, and you got to remember that Ray Mercer was, 27 years old when he turned pro. He won the Olympics when he was 26. I know I'm talking about his amateur, but I got to take it back there first.
Right, right. He was a sergeant in the army before for like 9 years.
Yep, he fought there, and then
That's where he
he went
picked up boxing.
he went into the Olympics and started his amateur career with grown man strength. This dude was like 26, 27 years old when he was fighting amateur, and he was the oldest on the Olympic team when Michael Carbajal and Roy Jones and Riddick Bowe was on that team. So
Right.
as a pro, the most posterizing victory was the Tommy Morrison victory. Just the devastation, the knockout. It was on free TV. I remember watching the fight. It was on USA Network. Um, that fight right there sticks out to me. There's other fights that stick out to me, but as far as a positive, that fight sticks out to me the most. I don't think it was the most important win, but it sticks out to me because it was Tommy Morrison, the hype around him,
Yes.
just on the hype train, man. But another fight that sticks out to me on a kind of bitter note, and I know he went to court and he got this uh, took care of. But the first Jesse Ferguson fight, man, where they were saying that he was trying to bribe Ferguson in the ring to take a dive.
Oh
That was
yeah,
like,
I was gonna ask you about that. What do you think about that?
um, well, there's no doubt that they were talking. You know what I'm saying? Because if you watch the first fight, they were talking in the ring.
Yeah.
And I believe it was George Foreman doing the commentary, but they were talking in the ring, man. So obviously, I don't know what was said, but Ferguson claims that he wanted him to take a dive.
To bribe him.
I just couldn't believe Mercer was struggling with Ferguson like that. He struggled in both fights, to tell you the truth, with
Yeah.
Ferguson.
Yeah. I think he just had that style. But in the first fight, Mercer just didn't show up at all. It just looked like he didn't come to fight that time.
Yeah, and he would do this throughout his career. Man, that's the thing about Mercer.
Mhm.
He would have debatable losses, or he just wouldn't show up at all, like the Marion Wilson fight. Like, how do you have a draw with Marion Wilson,
Yeah.
and then the very next year he'll have a tough fight with Holyfield, and the year after that a tough debatable fight with Lennox Lewis. So he was very unpredictable. So being that he was very unpredictable, he would have decisions like this against guys he was supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah. Like against Larry Holmes.
Yep, the Larry Holmes fight. But Holmes, Holmes kind of did the Ali to Ray Mercer in that fight. He kind of did what Ali did to George, talking in his ear, pushing him.
Yeah.
He just didn't know how to deal with that, man. The savviness. And you would have thought that a fight with Holmes in '92 would have got him ready for what Ferguson brought to the table. But obviously, whenever he got in here and he started to get boxed and get fatigued and tired, he would revert to the same thing. That was pretty much standing straight up, being susceptible to being clinched and just being outworked.
Yeah, he really only had one style of fighting.
Yep. And
Yeah.
even if you look at Francesco Damiani fight when he first won the WBO, he was still looked at as a paper champion because that WBO strap at that time was only around for about 2 or 3 years, I believe.
Mhm.
So they looked at Francesco Damiani as the paper champion, and whoever fought him and won it was going to be the paper champion.
Right, right. Well, that was a hell of a comeback though.
Yes, it was. It was like I said. That's most of his. To me, that's his best win. Not his most posterizing win.
Hmm.
I believe it's the Morrison fight, but his best win, I think, is the Francisco Damiani fight.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The Morrison fight is probably his most talked about win, but the Damiani win is his best win because he was down on all scorecards. I think they gave. I think he was winning like one round on all scorecards, and he just knocked that fool out with that uppercut and broke his nose, and it's over.
Yeah, made him quit. And then again, he was getting. I mean, he was so susceptible, man, to being just outboxed, out jab, outworked. I just couldn't believe it. You know, that fight against Damiani, I don't know if it'll go down, in the history with other great heavyweight title fight comeback from behind victory knockout. Joe Louis versus Billy Conn, Mike Weaver versus Big John Tate, or Foreman versus Moore, or even Shannon Briggs versus Liakovic. You got Marciano versus Walcott won. So there's a lot of fights, man, that ended like that. But I don't think vast majority of fans will remember it like that. But us hardcore fans will remember that, at the heavyweight division, especially me.
Right, right. And the thing with in the Larry Holmes fight, you got a veteran, a legend, and he just Larry Holmes just brought it, and that's just you want to see a display of like a legend just doing his thing. I think that's the fight you want to watch because he's how old is he in that fight? 41, 42?
I can't remember exactly, but he was pretty old in that fight. I know he's in his 40s for sure.
Yeah, but he just fought a great fight. He was beating him on the inside, just hitting him with those right hooks, just smiling at him, and that fight, that's a work of art for Larry Holmes.
Yes, it is. And then, to tell you the truth, he shouldn't even have fought Holmes, but he wanted the payday.
Right.
He just vacated. I mean, when he got stripped, he didn't vacate. He got stripped for the title because he was supposed to fight Michael Moore. And I thought that, Mercer would have a better chance of beating Moore. We're talking '92. So I thought he would have probably a better chance of beating Moore. But I understand on paper, especially back then, just looking at it, the easier fight would have been Larry Holmes. If you're looking at it on paper, because Moore was up and coming.
Well, it's a bigger payday too.
Yep, it was the payday. He's just an old man. And plus, it was a name you can put on your resume.
Right.
So I can see why he did that. Then another fight that was gone and lost that happened in his career was when he was supposed to beat Ferguson the first time. He would have got the Riddick Bowe fight. That happened. That's the fight I really wanted to see.
Yeah, Ferguson got that fight.
And then another thing with Mercer is he always wanted Tyson. Even up until 2002, he wanted Tyson in 2002. But then Tyson chose to fight. He chose to fight Lennox. The Lennox fight came together, but Tyson and Mercer was actually set in 2002. I forgot for which date, but that fight, if you look it up, that fight was actually set and ready to go.
Oh wow,
Tyson, yeah,
I didn't know that.
Set and ready to go. Yep, it was set and ready to go. Then Lewis and Tyson came to an agreement, and then they had their fight in Memphis.
Wow. I know he fought Vladimir Klitschko in 2002.
Yep, they're like those. And then after, I would have liked to see him fight Tyson in 2002. Based on because he had been one Tyson through all of the 90s.
Right.
Always was calling out Tyson. So, and I thought Tyson was a little bit, well, not a little bit, but completely past, his better days in 2002. So I thought a better matchup to watch would have been Tyson and Mercer, and I also wanted Roy Jones to fight Tyson around 2002 also.
Yeah.
But Lennox, Vladimir, those guys that were, even though Lennox was on his way out, he still had more left in his tank than Tyson did. And then we know the Klitschko's were
coming up.
So, yeah,
Mercer was past it though at that time too.
yeah, he was. That's why I said him and Tyson would have been better just to view both guys kind of past their prime with not much left. I would have rather see them fight than Tyson and Lewis. But I understand Tyson. Lewis wanted Tyson for his legacy.
Yeah, that'd probably be a better fight.
Yep.
How would you see that fight going? 2002.
Tyson and Ray Mercer 2002.
Yeah.
Well, put it like this, man. The first round would have probably been very, but I don't know, man, because you never know when Ray Mercer's going to show up. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Him going in there against Marion Wilson would have been different. Him going in there with Tyson, even the 2002 version, just his mental makeup going into the fight would have been that of somebody that would have went in there and fought with fire under her ass, man. Because in some of his fights, he didn't fight like that. It looked like he didn't even want to be there. Against Tyson, he would have wanted to be there, although they were both past their primes. It
Yes.
was a good fight. I would have favored Tyson because I just think, even though Tyson was past it and he was tired late in fights, Mercer really didn't do much late in fights either. They've probably been a hug fest going late into the fight. But if they would have gotten to just exchanges and just going, leather for leather, I'm a favorite Tyson.
By knockout?
By knockout, yep.
Oh wow.
By knockout. I think Ray wanted so desperately to get in there, he just would have started trading with Mike. I think he would have been willing to just stand in the middle of the ring and trade.
I think so too.
And I'm forgetting one thing I haven't mentioned about Ray throughout this video since we've been talking is his jab. He had a great jab, so let me say that first. But when he would get discouraged, he wouldn't pump the jab or he would throw a weak jab. But when he was confident and actually working behind the jab like he did against Lennox, he had one of the best jabs I've seen, especially in the 90s.
Yeah, he had a good jab, but he wouldn't really use it that much. Like in the first half of the Holyfield fight, he was keeping Holyfield off with the jab, but then he just completely stopped using it.
That's what I'm saying. Late in fights, man, he would just be a different Ray Mercer. He would just stand straight up, be susceptible to being held. He could be outworked. He wouldn't use his jab. It was like two different Ray Mercers some night.
Oh yeah. How do you see the Tyson fight in the 90's?
Tough. I'll pick Tyson to beat Mercer
Okay.
versus 90s or both of them past their primes. When Tyson got in there with guys that are supposed to crack really hard, Tyson's main thing was getting out boxed. And if you were really a boxer puncher, he was really going to have trouble.
Yeah.
The thing was just being able to outbox. But going there trying to just slug with, like stand right in the middle and slug with them, you would have to favor Tyson.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, I would favor Tyson.
Okay. I think Ray Mercer would have to use his jab throughout the whole fight. He couldn't afford to let it go after the first few rounds in a Tyson fight.
Yeah, and it would have been interesting to see that because both of these, although they have finished strong in fights, you could probably argue the fact that in the 90s, especially that mid to late 90s, that Mercer late in fights had at least more in the tank than Tyson. He showed a lot of gill and guts against
Lennox, yeah.
Although that fight, that and the Holyfield fight only went 10 rounds, correct?
Yes.
I think those fights only went 10 rounds.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was 11th or 12th round, but
Yeah.
I would just have to favor Tyson, although, Mercer does have abilities and qualities that he can use against Tyson, like his jab, but he really wasn't a boxer. He was a slugger with the jab.
Right.
So, and there were some other fights throughout, that we didn't see Mercer in. You could say this for any fighter, but I would have loved to see him against Akabe Abuche or David Tua.
Ooh, yeah. That a Tua fight would have been good.
Yeah. What do you think about Mercer kind of after boxing, like with the fights against what did he fight? Kimbo Slice. He fought
Oh, that's right.
Sylvia, the dude from the UFC, the heavyweight.
Yeah. Yeah, for those that don't know, Ray Mercer pursued a career in MMA and UFC, but he has a few fights. He has that fight against Kimbo Slice and another fight against Tim Sylvia where he knocked some guy out in 8 seconds. This guy was talking mad shit, right? And he knocked his ass out in 8 seconds. But he was still boxing, but he left to pursue MMA and then he came back to boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only been KO'd. I believe he only got KO'd. I know Shannon Briggs knocked him out, but that was like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Let me check.
I don't know. Did Klitschko stop him?
Klitschko stopped him. That was in 2005. Yeah, the Shannon Briggs. That was a stoppage too.
Okay.
Klitschko stopped him, but that was a referee stoppage because he was just taking some bombs.
Yeah.
Though Klitschko did drop him, I think he dropped him twice. I know he dropped him the first round, and that was only Ray Mercer's second knockdown in his whole career, and only the first knockdown from a shot to the chin, because Holyfield dropped him with a body shot.
Yeah. Tough dude, man.
Oh, that. All right. Let me go over a few of his wins. He fought Burt Cooper in a great fight when he was 15-0. He beat him by a unanimous decision. And Francesco Damiani. If you haven't check out that fight. Check it out. It's a great come from behind knockout. Tommy Morrison, Larry Holmes. He lost to Larry Holmes. He lost to Jesse Ferguson, and then he beat him in a rematch. He beat Tim Witherspoon in a 10-round decision. Debated 10-round decision. That was a good fight.
I remember that fight was on the undercard of Bo Galata. I believe it was the second fight between Bo and Galata. But that was a good fight. I remember it was in Atlantic City. That was a good fight.
That's right. How did you score that fight?
I had it for Mercer. I had him win by a few rounds. I know both guys, especially at the end of the fight, both guys thought they won.
Right.
I gave it to Mercer. Plus, Mercer been on the bad end of decisions his whole career.
A few close decisions.
They should have gave it to him, but it was good to see him get at least one because he had a lot of them.
Yeah, I thought he won. I thought he won that fight. He lost the 10-round decision to Evander Holyfield. Lost to Lennox Lewis. Got knocked out, like we said earlier, to Vladimir Klitschko, Shannon Briggs. I think those are his last notable fights. So, how did you score the Lennox fight?
I had Mercer 96-94. I thought he won the fight.
You thought Mercer won the fight?
Yeah, for once in his life, I thought Mercer actually did enough. From my perspective, I thought he did enough to pull the fight out. But again, it was a close fight. I know some reporters had it 97-93 for Mercer. I had it 96-94.
Wow.
I thought Mercer pulled the fight out.
Wow.
I thought Mercer pulled that one out.
I think even Damiani, like we said, that's his best win. But I think against Lennox Lewis, I think that's his best fight. Period.
Yeah,
throughout his whole career.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that if this is his best fight, and then the Morrison was his best, posterizing victory as far as looks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants excitement, and I think his most notable win that he was credited for is the Damiani. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because he almost beat Lennox Lewis. That wasn't for the title though.
Nope.
Because Lennox Lewis wasn't a champion then. Right? He had just got knocked out, or?
Yeah, I think he was trying to bounce back.
Bounce
back and get his credit back up on HBO.
Was it from the Oliver McCall?
Yep.
Yeah.
Check, but I know that he wasn't.
Yeah, I'll check. Yeah, he wasn't a champion because it was only a 10-rounder.
Yep. Yeah, obviously it was a 10-rounder. Mercer had a few 10-rounders. The Witherspoon, he was.
The Jesse Ferguson.
Rounders, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was from the Oliver McCall fight. He had that fight was in 1995, and he got knocked out in 1994. So yeah, he was on that comeback trail. Actually, his next fight after the Mercer was the rematch with Oliver McCall. Yeah.
So yeah, Ray Mercer, I mean, pretty much from he was pretty much relevant up until '99, until the end of the decade. He was pretty much relevant, man, for about a good 5 or 6 years. Like I said, he started pro when he was 27.
All right.
So, especially back in those days, man, going into your 30s, trying to be heavyweight boxer was considered ancient. Although other, fighters have proven that statement wrong, it was still pretty much considered ancient fighting in your 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to cover a lot of ground quickly, Sam was kind of like that. How old is Anthony Joshua? Isn't he like 23, 24?
I'm not sure.
Anthony Joshua.
Is he?
I believe he is. I believe he also is.
We'll check.
But just something about Mercer's style, though, man. He just never learned to just. I mean, if you watch his fights, it's like, damn, Ray, just bend, duck, parry with the punch. I mean, he would just take it, man. He would eat punches like M&Ms.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got a great chin, but you don't have to take the shots all the time.
Yeah, he just.
Joshua's 23 right now.
23?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's an Olympian, though, right? He's a gold medalist.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. And speaking of the Olympics and gold medal, Ray Mercer wasn't even a favorite in the Olympics. If you watch his Olympic run and actually watch the fight, he went in there to knock people out. He was not trying to go through what Roy Jones, he just did not want to go through any of that fuckery in the Olympics. He was going for knockouts.
Yeah.
Even in the national tournament, even in the Olympic trials, the national tournament, he had beat Morrison already in the Olympic trials.
That's right.
And then, so even in the national tournaments, the national tournaments to go to Olympic trials, he even went through the national tournament knocking people out. He won 5 fights, 4 of them by knockout. So his whole thing was to knock you out, and I like that about Mercer. That's what you need in the heavyweight division, man. Yeah,
you need exciting fights like that, like his fight against Lennox Lewis, where he's just throwing bombs the whole time.
Yep.
Trying to knock fools out. And boxing as a whole suffers because the heavyweight division isn't as strong as it was before.
Yeah, just, I mean, I can come up with at least about 20 guys off the top of my head from the 90s, man. Just from, not even talking about the 70s and the 40s and the 30s. I mean, just the 90s alone.
And I think during that time it was considered a weak era, right?
Yeah, people were considered weak. I mean, you had guys like, Henry Akinwande. Do you remember that dude?
No.
6'7" dude. He got disqualified when he fought Lennox for holding.
Okay.
But won a title. He was in the era. Tim Witherspoon was still around. Tony Tucker was still around. Andrew Gallardo, Michael Grant, Razor Ruddock was still around. Bruno.
Razor Ruddock. Mm-hmm.
Holmes was still around. McCall was still around. Moore, Vuce, Foreman, Tyson, Holyfield, Bo. It was stacked.
Yeah, even guys like Jesse Ferguson, they were good fighters too. Like Pink Long Thomas.
Yeah, they were still around.
Yeah.
Still around.
Yeah. The 90s is an underrated era for heavyweights.
Very underrated. It's very underrated, man. I think Lennox Lewis is the best of the era by far. I think Lewis and Holyfield are the 2 best in the era by far, but definitely underrated. And like I said, you had some old guys still in there. You had like Foreman and you had George Foreman, you had Larry Holmes. Older guys still in there giving these guys work, man. That's what I really loved about the era too.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I was born in 1980, so I didn't get to really enjoy Holmes, coming up like that, or George Foreman. So it was good to see them fight in a different era.
Still
and
fighting.
Get win and hold their own, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, they held their own, definitely. Who do you think had the better comeback, George Foreman or Larry Holmes? Because I know George Foreman gets like most of the credit for his comeback, but Larry Holmes had a hell of a comeback too.
Yes, he did, man. He should have got the victory in some of his fights that he didn't get the victory in. Holmes, man, that's the tough one. I mean, some people might say, well, shit, it's George Foreman because he won a title, but we also know that Holmes should have won the title too.
Holmes would have beaten Michael Moore too.
Yep. Holmes, I would slightly favor Holmes, man, because he took it a little bit deeper with his longevity, although he did fight, Butterbean in his last fight. But the dude was 52 years old.
He was 52 years old, yes.
Yeah,
and he beat him.
Yeah, he did, so.
Butterbean.
Just because of the fact that Foreman actually got it done, though. He actually got it done.
Right.
And, Holmes lost that decision to Oliver McCall. He couldn't get it done. Although people thought he won the fight, he just couldn't get it done. So I would favor Foreman slightly over Holmes in their comeback.
Because he got that title.
Yeah, because he got it done. He got it done.
Yeah, yeah.
Although you can argue that Holmes had very good performances late in his career, also, it's just he didn't get it done though, man, and Foreman did
Yeah.
officially got it done. So
Do you buy when he says that he got the Tyson fight on short notice and it would have been different otherwise?
that fight would have been different. Only way that fight would have been different, man, if there was a way to to bring the 1978 Larry Holmes out of a time machine to fight Mike Tyson. That's the only way that fight would have been any different. Although I forgot which round it was, but in one of those rounds, I remember Holmes was dancing on his feet, flicking his jab out there. It looked like the old Eastern Assassin.
Right.
That's the thing, though. He only did it for a few minutes in one round.
Yeah.
So really, at that point, man, I understand what he's trying, but that was Tyson at his best, man. That was Iron Mike Tyson right there. So no, I don't think if he would have had 3 or 4 months to train, I still would have thought he would have lost that fight.
Well, would he have gotten
And
knocked out the way he did though?
maybe having more stamina to be able to move and stay away for more rounds. If he could have got together a training regimen to get his legs back up there to move like that. But then if you look at his career later, even after the Tyson fight, he wasn't really a mover like that. He wasn't out there just moving and moving and moving. His thing was to bring you in, to parry your punches, slip your shots, first phase you, hold you, grab you, jab you, rapid punch you. Doing savvy little things. That was his whole game.
Right.
So I think he probably still got knocked out.
Okay.
And Holmes is the type of guy that gets knocked out like that, but it's just, or maybe he could have survived the decision, but he would have got at least knocked down a few times.
Yeah, he would have had to like try to survive.
Yeah, it would have been survival, man, because that shit, and as great as Larry Holmes threw his left hand off the jab, it didn't have enough power to hurt Mike.
Okay. Yeah, because he had a full career after Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he went 12 rounds with Evander Holyfield.
Yep. Oliver McCall, he had good fights. It's just the fact that I think people are underappreciating Mike Tyson and his run. Because, during Tyson's run, to a lot of fans, he fought nothing but bums. It doesn't matter if they were title holders. To some people's opinion, he fought nothing but bums.
Yeah.
So they put Holmes in there as an old guy. Although he had a career after the Tyson fight, but that's just how a lot of fans and media sees it. I don't feel like that. I thought that was a legit win for Tyson. Right. In hindsight, you can look at it and say, maybe then when it took place, it's like, oh, he beat up on old Larry Holmes. But in hindsight, it was a good win.
Very, very good win. Yeah, so you're saying they just don't want to give Tyson credit for that fight?
I believe a lot of people don't. A lot of people think he's overrated.
Right.
In his position amongst one of the best heavyweights. So, and that's their opinion, but they just think that era was totally garbage, and I don't think it was totally garbage, that mid to late 80s, I don't.
Right. I do feel he's overrated, though. Like, I don't think he should be talked amongst the greatest heavyweights of all time, amongst the Jack Johnsons and the Muhammad Ali's, Larry Holmes.
I think that's a different caliber. And
okay.
I have to agree with you. As much as I'm a big Tyson fan, I don't think he's up there. I don't think he's up there with the Ali's and Jack Johnsons. I don't think so. Now, if you put them in there in a head-to-head in their primes, anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? I would favor Tyson to probably beat some of the guys, but as far as legacies go, I don't think he's up there with those guys. But he's definitely in the conversation. He's definitely a top 20 consensus, top 20, I believe, heavyweight of all time.
Right. Because he did win the undisputed heavyweight championship twice, right?
Tyson?
Yeah.
No, I know he collected all the belts. He won. He was undisputed, then he lost.
Yeah.
And so he never got it back.
He never got it back? Oh, that's right. Because he lost the Holyfield fight, and that was a unification fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. He never got it back.
Well, no, I don't know if the Holyfield fight was unification. I know he beat. What's the dude's name? Seldon, and he beat Bruno. No, Holyfield didn't have his fight. Holyfield had got knocked out by Riddick Bowe in their third fight.
Okay.
Everybody thought he was a dead man. Then he fought Bobby Chez, which he looked like crap against Bobby Chez. And then that's why everybody thought he was a dead man walking going into the Tyson fight. That Tyson fight was unification. Holyfield unified fight
That's
with
right.
Lennox Lewis. He fight with Lennox, or that was a unification fight when he fought Lennox.
All right. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. That was only for the WBA.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm checking BoxRec right now. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
he
only
fought, I
for
believe. Well, if you're on BoxRec, didn't he fight Bobby Chez before Tyson?
Holyfield.
Yeah.
Let me check. I was on Tyson's
Yeah,
90,
I'm Bobby
96.
Chez. He looked like crap.
Yep.
And Bobby Chez is a little. If you ever seen Bobby Chez fight, he used to commentate for Showtime, but he was a little small cruiserweight. So you would think, damn, he had problems with Bobby Chez. How the hell he's going to handle even this version of Mike Tyson? That's why he was such a huge underdog.
Yeah. All right. I could see that.
Along with, and this one, and this kind of, let's just talk about Holyfield for a second, man.
All right.
This is, now looking back at it, I love Evander Holyfield as a fighter, man. But growing up, though, I hated him because every time he would lose, or no, every time he would win, it was, he would praise the Lord, praise God, praise this. Every time he would lose, he has a bad heart. His arm is going to fall off. I just hated it, man. I hated it. I hated that double standard with Evander Holyfield. He was a great fighter, man. One of the greatest fighters ever.
Oh, definitely. He kept fighting with that hole in his heart.
Yep.
And yeah, and
He actually came here to Minnesota. He actually came here to the Mayo Clinic and got checked out.
You met him?
I didn't meet him. I just knew he was here. They had it on the news that former champion Evander Holyfield was coming to the Mayo Clinic. So
Right.
kind of he's a boxing fan.
That's cool. Yeah, Holyfield, he did struggle with like minor competition, but because of his fighting style, like I feel like he always wanted to give great fights, like against Burt Cooper and Michael Dokes. Like they weren't really on his level, but those are great fights.
Yeah. Well, the Dokes fight I know was a fight to see where Evander was as far as a heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
So they used the Dokes fight as a and Dokes was a former heavyweight champion title holder himself. So that wasn't just going to be an easy win for Evander Holyfield. They wanted to see what he can do with a formidable guy, and Dokes was a highly ranked guy back then. It's just Dokes, he had the cocaine and drug problems kind of washed his career away. But
really?
Dokes was a good fight. Dokes was a really good fighter in those early '80s. He used to be in training camps of Ali's and Norton back in the late '70s. So Dokes was a good fighter, and he was a good amateur too.
Michael Dokes?
Yes, he was. Yep, Michael Dokes.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep, Michael Dokes was a good fighter in the early '80s. That fight, like I said, they were trying to see where Holyfield was, and Dokes wanted to reclaim his spot at heavyweight too. So that wasn't a gimme fight for Holyfield at all.
I feel like the Burt Cooper fight was supposed to be though, because it was in Atlanta, and I believe let me check. I think he had just beaten Buster Douglas.
Oh yeah, we went to Atlanta.
No, he had just beaten George Foreman actually, but
yeah, that was an exciting fight. I remember that fight. I lived in Nevada actually when that fight happened, man, and I was like, damn, Holyfield was gonna get knocked out his first defense, or his first defense of the title.
Right.
So he showed a lot of heart, but Burt Cooper was good at that. He was good at making guys going towards with him. He did that. Have you seen the Michael Moore fight?
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, Mercer fight, slugfest.
When he showed up, he showed up. He broke Ray Mercer's jaw. His face was like all swollen.
Yeah, Burt Cooper was tough. Didn't he go down? Did Cooper go down in the first round?
Which in the Ray Mercer?
Yeah.
Mercer?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And the Michael Moore fight too.
Yep, that was a classic, man. That fight, the Michael Moore fight was classic.
Damn, all those like knockdowns, everyone getting up from knockdowns, and just that was a war.
And that's when Moore was more known as a power puncher. When he was at the lighter division, he moved up. He was more known as a power puncher.
Yeah,
he fell back into the boxing using a jab as he gained more weight.
Yeah, all his fights at light heavyweight, he won by knockout.
Yeah, he was a power puncher, man. Then he started gaining weight and slowed his pace down. He turned into a big little man, or a little big man kind of at the heavyweight division.
Yeah, because he was undersized. Well, speaking of overweight, like, do you see like a weight issue with Ray Mercer as well?
It just goes with the inconsistency of Mercer throughout his whole career. Everything was inconsistent with him, man.
Yeah,
Everything. So weight was one of the factors, but it was everything. He didn't punch enough. Then he had some points in his career where he would be out for 14 months, 20 months, and I know some of it was stuff he couldn't control, different ailments and injuries and stuff. But Ray Mercer, although he was a good fighter for the 90's, man, he was just very inconsistent.
very very inconsistent. You're almost beating Lennox Lewis, and then you're losing to Jesse Ferguson.
Yeah, and getting a draw with Marion Wilson. So,
Yeah,
and to tell you the truth, he probably lost to Ferguson twice. To be honest with you, the second fight was close too.
you scored for Ferguson.
No, I gave that one to Mercer, but it was a close fight though.
Yeah, they were both close fights.
Yeah, both close fights. So he just had, I don't know what it was with Ferguson and his style that Mercer just couldn't get through, man. I just don't. He just was outworking Ray.
Yeah. Well, for Ferguson, he was a good fighter.
Yeah,
He
he was.
he fought a lot of good fighters, but he shouldn't have beaten Ray Mercer. He shouldn't have. That shouldn't have happened.
It's just that people just remember Ferguson as the guy that Mike Tyson tried to drive his bone to his brain. What did Tyson say after that fight?
Yeah, I think Customato would tell him like you gotta try
His
to,
nose bone,
yeah,
yeah, to his brain or something.
to his
So
brain.
yeah, so that's
Yeah,
what he was most known for. Then Ferguson got the shot against Bo and completely shit his pants. So
yeah. He
that
he
should have been
was
worse than that.
he was a sparring partner too for a lot of world champions.
Yep. And he had that same sparring partner mentality that 94 Bo. That's why I was like, damn, it's supposed to be Ray Mercer in here fighting Bo.
Yeah, that would have been a lot different.
It was almost like Bo was like, I mean, Mercer had the attitude of like, he thought he was going to get the Bo fight. So he didn't even really fly in the Ferguson fight. He was overlooking Ferguson.
He just looked out of shape, like he didn't even want to be there.
And that's how he was looking majority of his fights, man. That's why I say he was just very inconsistent. But he did a lot of good things. He did win the title.
Yeah,
His first test I thought was Oscar Casio. Even though Oscar Casio was past it, somebody formidable, especially for somebody just turning pro, and he looked decent in that fight.
right.
Mercer, man. What I'm trying to say with Mercer is he always, like I said, from the amateurs to his pro career, he was always an underdog. He was always, and even if he was a favorite in a fight, he'll turn himself into an underdog in the fight because he'll get down by rounds. So he was always fighting from the underdog position, man, Ray Mercer.
Yeah, yeah. Because of his age.
Because of his age, because of nobody really knew him. He didn't have a crazy, extensive amateur background. He didn't start when he was young. So, yeah, mostly because of his age.
Yeah, that's crazy. He picked up boxing in the army, and he's like, I'm gonna do this.
Yep. And whenever, that just showed that, maybe it was the army background, but he had this knack about him that he was the leader of men. You know what I mean? Because when you're on an Olympic team that has Roy Jones Jr. on it, Riddick Bowe, Michael Carbajal,
Right.
Anthony Hembrick, Andrew Maynard, those type of guys that's fit around 1988, and you come there as the old man and be the leader of that team. Although I think the '84 Olympic team is the best Olympic team, but just to be the leader of that team, to be a leader of the Olympic team with a young Roy Jones on it says a lot about your character, man.
Yep. Yep. And he won the gold at heavyweight. And that was the year that Lennox Lewis won it at super heavyweight.
Yeah, it was the year Lennox beat Bo.
That's right. Yep.
Marion Wilson. It wasn't one of those fights. He'd have been very up for Mike Tyson, just like he was up for Lennox Lewis, up for Evander Holyfield.
Well, he would have been motivated for that fight.
Oh hell yeah, he'd have been. It'd have been tough, man. That's why I say I favor Mike, but it's not for sure. Like what I'm saying, it's not a for sure give me a win.
No.
Motivated Ray Mercer in the mid '90s is a tough son of a bitch to deal with.
I think he would have beaten George Foreman at that time.
think so?
I think so. I think a motivated Ray Mercer, I think he would have beaten George Foreman.
You think you? And now with Foreman, you know, it's just the style Mercer had, though. I mean, he would literally, man, just
Yeah.
stand there. I mean, literally standing there with his gloves like to the middle of his chest, like stand there and let you just club the hell out of him.
That's
I
true.
don't know if that'd have been smart. I don't know if that'd have been smart even against an old Foreman.
Right, right.
Because at least Moore was kind of, you know, at least Michael Moore was kind of, you know, deflecting the gloves. Even Axel Schultz, when Foreman fought him, they would move, do things. Holyfield was out working him. Holyfield was getting hit, but he was out working him. But he would slip and duck and dodge.
Right, right.
Mercer did none of that. He just literally stood there, man, like a zombie and fought. I respect him, but he had no defensive movements. None.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe that would have been the wrong approach to fighting Foreman. Now, could he have used that jab and moved around a little bit and tried to just, you know, move side to side and get out of the way of George's right hand and coast to a decision? He possibly could have, but that wasn't his style or makeup, man. It was stand there and brawl, and if it was a fight that he wasn't motivated for or a fight he was fatigued, he would just stand there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the inside, he was susceptible to being held, and, you know, he would want to take rest. I mean, I still think that would have been the right approach to fight Foreman, even at that age.
No, yeah, definitely wouldn't. But I would just see him just throwing bombs on the inside and then just like throughout the whole fight and Foreman just not having an answer.
Right. Or just Foreman, you know, running out of gas late, or his arms get, you know, tired or something like that.
Right, right.
You know, kind of like with the Lennox. You know, I can see a possible Lennox Lewis situation. But Lennox will move here and there.
Yeah, that's how I see that. Yeah.
You know, but it'd have been an intriguing fight. They're very intriguing. They, you know, they wouldn't have had to go out searching for the other party because they would have been right there.
Yeah, definitely. That would have been a good fight. Let me see. All right, I think. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man, it was good being on here with you, man. Chopping it up about these 90s. Whenever you want to chop it up about any heavyweight, well, any boxer period, but especially any heavyweight, man.
All right.
I definitely love to do these, man. But nah, Ray Mercer was a good fighter. You know, if I had to rank him as far as the 90s go, if he's not in my top 10, he would be somewhere between, you know, 8 and 12, probably, maybe a little bit higher. But he was definitely one of the top guys, though. Definitely one of the top 12 guys of the 90s, definitely.
Yeah, that'd probably be a discussion for another time, like top 10 90s heavyweights. Like you got what's his name, Razor Ruddock, Tommy Morrison. So there's a lot of good heavyweights there in the 90s. So, but yeah, man, it was a pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
No problem, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. And you guys have a great day. Peace.